Okay, I think this is a really interesting question. The advantages and disadvantages of language learning in different ways. Personally, I mean, I think we should start talking about this one here, learning a language in a classroom with a teacher in a group, maybe in your own country. I think this is a really good way of learning because you have other people, the teacher can motivate you, and you can do activities in pairs, and there's just a bit more variety.
Yeah, I think you can keep a conversation fresh and interesting if you have different participants speaking to a topic and just keeping it at that same level among students.
Yeah.
Where, like you said, a teacher is there to correct you, but
Exactly, and they can really help you.
It's challenging everybody and getting everybody involved.
Yeah. Now, this other way here is online learning, which has become really popular recently, and there's a lot of free software. So I think the advantage here is that it's often free, and you don't have to pay that much, and you can, put it or arrange it around your timetable whenever you're free. But what do you think are the disadvantages?
Well, accountability for one, of course. Nobody's really going to make sure that you're attending your online class. Nobody's going to really say, were you there? Did you do your homework? So you need to be very self-motivated to be successful with that method.
I know, because I sometimes get little reminders of my language classes, and I mean, really, there's nobody really up, phoning you up and saying, hey, why don't you learn more? I mean, you get an email, but that might not be motivating enough. And what about full immersion?
Definitely my favorite way of learning a language. I think it's the most challenging. It keeps your brain constantly engaged. And you're learning vocabulary that is relevant and useful to day-to-day life, which is what most language learners are looking for.
No, I agree with you, but on the other side, I think it is very expensive. Not everybody can afford to move to another country to learn the language. You also usually need to have either the finances or a job. And the other thing is, I think it can be a little bit overwhelming to have this full immersion. So I think it's for the hardcore student, who really wants to make progress, but it might not be everybody's thing.
Very much a crash course.
Very much. Okay, so which one is our favorite way of language learning? I think if I start, I would probably choose a classroom with a teacher, but it doesn't have to be in the country, because I just think that's very motivating. It's not full on, and it's usually a little bit cheaper as well, but you have the motivation of having your own teacher. What about you? What do you think?
Me being quite a lazy student, it's definitely full immersion because I'm forced to engage. So people keep me accountable.
Okay, so you go for the full immersion, I go for the classroom. Should we just agree to disagree?
I think we need to.
Okay.